I believe we're live. Hello, everybody. I'm June Bea, CEO of Bea Group, and I am here to share with you that we're live streaming the showcase for the apprenticeship. Anyways, sorry, I'm hearing
I'm
the
I'm just
Yeah,
stuffing.
you're live.
I know I'm live. I'm hearing myself. Sorry. This is the thing with going live is it's playing in the background. And all right, so here we are. This is our first time live streaming with this group this year. And I'm wondering if I should just do this again. Anyways, it's all right. All right, so we're gonna so let me go back to the PowerPoint. So we have our first showcase of 2025. And so this is our summer apprenticeship live stream showcase. It is with our apprentices that we've had this year from Downey Unified, from Davis Joint Unified, Design Tech High School, and Glendale Unified. And we have apprentices from those school districts who participated with us from June 16th, and they're going to be finishing up the apprenticeship. And these are the folks who are not joining us for the in-person. And so they're going to live stream and share with you all what they have been working on this summer. So I'm going to turn it over to our first apprentice who is going to share, and I'm going to turn it over. Narek, are you ready?
Yes, I am ready.
All
Right.
right, Narek, go for it.
All right. Yep. One moment.
You want someone else to share your slides? Would that help with your internet?
I thought it was working well. I mean, yes, that might work better if someone else shares it.
Okay, let's see if so it's in your folder, right? All
Yes.
right, I will share. Unless Alana, you have it handy, but I can do it. Um, Sorry, everyone. All right, here we go. I'm gonna download it so that it's on my okay. Okay, here we go. Okay, Nark, I'm going to have you talk us through your presentation. Here we go. Okay. Okay, go for it.
So, so I'm going to be talking about my slides while you go through them.
Yes, can you see my screen? So your slide is up.
I don't see it on my side. Is screen sharing?
I am. Can other people see it?
I can see it.
Yep.
Okay. So just know the first slide is up, Nark.
Okay,
So then, okay. So the next one
oh,
is what is WorkWonder?
one moment, my things aren't loading right now. Okay, there it is. So, my name's Mara Tunyan. What is Wonder? To me, WorkWonder is a youth-centered works program that's designed by youth for other youths. It's a program that equips with paid work experiences, skills, and mentorships big opportunity to be able to gain some experience in order to then go into other workplaces and go into other personal experiences. Should I say next slide? And as a part of my apprenticeship here, I work with other apprentices with a client, and our client was Salt and Sugar Productions, which is a documentary production team. Next slide. Our client was Barbara Focus, the co-founder of our of Salt and Sugar Productions. And to our group, one problem that we could solve for her was reaching a broader audience. And our solution to that was coming up with a marketing plan where we would do physical advertisements as well as online marketing and social media marketing. Next slide. We created a budget so that we could plan out how much our efforts were going to cost. In yellow, we have our advertising costs, and we also planned a film premiere to raise awareness about the film. And all of the premiere costs are cited in blue, out to a pretty expensive $26,000. Next slide. We also came up with customer persona in order to better understand who we were targeting and how to grab their attention and forward it towards our documentary team. Next slide. And we came up with an executive summary about what our marketing was. We're going to reach a wider audience by using social media, creating budgets, finding sponsorships, having branding and style guide for the posts and for the advertisements, and creating an event to publicize and celebrate the opening of films that saw. Next slide. One of my teammates came up with a branding slash style guide, and all of these were designed by him. We created posters for the film. We created mock tickets. Next slide. And the following pages are the style guide for the Masami documentary. We created a font guide as well as a color guide, which are in the next slides. Here's the posters that one of my teammates came up with, which I think are pretty nice. Next slide, please. We came up with a typography style guide. Next slides. And this is the fonts we came up with. And the slide after this one is a semi-bold. We also came up with a color style guide so that all our posts and all our advertisements can have the same color style guide and be uniform, which is important when it comes to a company. That's the next slide. Red, black, and white for Masami, which is the artist that the documentary is based off of. And we also created a mock-up to show what physical advertisements might look like on the next slide. A mock-up of our posters out in the street where somebody could see them. Next slide, please. And our team also looks for sponsorships in order to fund our efforts because this is not cheap. We looked for sponsorships which sponsor documentary production teams, sponsor up-and-coming filmmakers, and we found the Ford Foundation and the Andy Warhol Foundation, which we would apply to in order to gain funds. Next slide, please. We also created a guide for posting on social media, such as Instagram and YouTube. We wrote down how frequent posts would be, what our goals were with each. Yeah. Next slide. Oh, yeah. We detailed the type of content that we would be posting on Instagram, or best, what the optimizations were for the specific social medias. For on Instagram, you want to have a lot of hashtags to use a guide and collaborations. Next slide, please. The thing for YouTube. we decided that one video would be next slide, please. And we came up with a type of content that we would have on YouTube, whether it be film clips and teasers, updates about upcoming documentaries, tutorials on some of the stuff that Salt and Sugar is working on. And we also decided that the optimization for YouTube will be focusing on titles as well as having entertaining openers, which keep the audience's attention. Next slide, please. We also did a market analysis to find out what our competitors are doing and in contrast what we are doing and be able to predict whether our marketing plan and our steps will also be effective. Next slide, please. And in summary, our solution to Salt and Sugar's problem of not being able to have as wide outreach as needed is to mainly focus on social media platforms to raise awareness about the company and to reach broader audiences by doing physical advertisements, doing events such as film premieres so that people can. Next slide, please. And this was prepared by my lovely team, Charlize, Narek, myself, Cedris, Caitlin, Livingston, Angelina, Madeline, Daniel, Nathan, and Sharonda. And a big thank you to Beha Group for allowing us to work with clients like Barb and Salt and Sugar Productions. Next slide, please. And this is my individual outcome of WorkWonder as an experience as an apprenticeship. Next slide, please. So in WorkWonder, I learned to use Microsoft Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. In Excel, I learned how to use calculations in cells and how to format cells as well. Next slide, please. I also learned how to write down a client pitch. I learned how to format a formal letter, how to use Microsoft Word more effectively, and how to communicate professionally with clients. Next slide, please. I also learned how to format a resume and how to communicate important information effectively so as not to leave any fluff in the resume. Next slide, please. And overall, as a personal reflection of WorkWonder and the apprenticeship, in the beginning, I struggled with participating and speaking out, whether it was in my client groups or in the main discussions or when we were talking to clients. I had some issues writing emails in the beginning, and I reached out to my mentors and I asked them for help with doing that. I had issues with using Airtable, which was one of the programs that we had. But once again, Lars and my fellow apprentices, they helped me and I got through it. I learned how to communicate more effectively throughout this apprenticeship. I learned how to work together with other group mates in a professional setting. And I learned how important it is to participate so that you can have effective collaboration with everyone and get to a common goal. And overall, I mean, the apprenticeship was great. It was really amazing. It's such a good way to start off and to gain these like essential skills. And I'm very happy I participated. I'm very happy I worked with everyone here. And that is that presentation. Thank you.
Thanks, Narek.
Thank
Yay.
you. Yay.
Good job.
All right, Jessica.
Thank you.
Thanks, Narek. That was great.
Okay. George, are you ready?
Should be. Let's do this. See
Can
if
you
I can
share
get this.
yourself? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I should be able to. Let's see if I can get this working correctly.
Let me just also
Is
say
that?
any co-designers that feel like you're having internet issues, will you let us know in our Zoom chat so that we can maybe be prepared to have yours downloaded? I will say my internet is not great, June, where I am at. So it may
Okay.
I would not be the ideal person to share
That's,
slides.
yep. I'll just download the rest of them. I'll have
Okay.
them ready.
There are
Yep.
orders in the chat.
Yep. But George, you're ready. You're good?
It's working. Yeah, it's working good.
Great.
Fantastic. So I'm George or Jorge, and I'm one of the apprentices working with Bay Group, and this is how it's been for me. Um, the way I see it, WorkWonder is essentially a program based on opportunity. It provides opportunities for young adults like me to gain experience with working with coworkers, general work processes and dynamics, and just functioning in a professional environment in general. It helps people reach that barrier of entry that most workplaces have because a lot of the time schools don't teach kids all the skills they'll need for actual work. To do this, we worked on one large project and a few smaller exercises throughout the apprenticeship. For the large projects, every team worked with an entrepreneur to assist them with any troubles they were facing. My team worked with Steve Lucas, who's a solo developer for a virtual reality puzzle game called Jigsaw Night. We noticed that the website he had for the game was pretty outdated and he didn't do a great job of showcasing what the game had to offer. So we decided to focus on creating a rough guideline on how Steve could go about renovating it. Before we did anything, we had to develop a projected price range to see what creating and maintaining a website could cost. It'll always vary, of course, but we ended up with around $7,400 to get a website going and $500 a year to keep it going. We also made a persona to help envision our target audience. This person, who we call Daniel, is a teenager who has a VR headset. He really likes video games, of course, but he also values spending time with his family and friends and maintaining that balance between, fun time playing games and spending time with his friends and family. So the first actual idea that we came up with was to utilize SEO, or search engine optimization. It's essentially the process of doing different things that increase the flow of people to your website. Interacting with the audience on Q&A platforms can help create buzz, and posting about the website on social media pages can help bring your followers to your website as well. If people are following you, they'd likely be interested in your website too, so it's good to take advantage of that. Then using services like Google Analytics and Google Trends can help you gather data on what internet users are attracted to. You can then implement these things into your own website to increase traffic there. My team also compiled a few key ingredients that could be beneficial to include on a website to promote a game. We know that Jigsaw Night has some stellar reviews, so displaying those to potential buyers would be convincing. The primary aspects of the game that Steve wanted to highlight were its accessibility, social aspects, and capability to make puzzles out of pictures on Facebook. If these are the main market points of the game, then they should be on the game's website in an exciting way. Gameplay clips or example videos are great ways to do that. Steve also mentioned that he doesn't want to lead players on with roadmaps that take too long to be realized, but a section that summarizes both recent updates and updates that are about to happen reminds players that he cares about their quality of life and he's always working on new content, or he's always at least working on new content. And that would stir some excitement by itself. Some other suggestions that we have include sharing more about the developer, Steve, and his inspiration for starting the game, as this can appeal to his audience. For example, sharing a passion for how games can bring friends and family together would appeal to people who share those convictions, and then they'd be more interested in trying the game. That exemplifies those convictions. We also noticed that while Jigsaw Night's socials are present on the website, that they're pretty small and easily overlooked. Making them bigger and more noticeable would make users more inclined to click on them. To sum that all up, my team and I propose remodeling the Jigsaw Night website to maximize its discoverability, showcase its strengths, and be more descriptive, as well as using it to build trust and reputation with its target audience. And these are some of the websites that we used to research. These is my team, Jose, myself, Keenan, Jamal, Andrew, and Destiny. And now I'm going to talk about some of the smaller exercises we did throughout the apprenticeship and what I gained from them. One of the first activities we did was the personal budget on Microsoft Excel. It was confusing for me at first because, like a lot of people doing this apprenticeship, it was the first time I had used Microsoft Excel. But eventually I got the hang of how to format the tables and set up equations and that stuff. Adding up theoretical costs also showed me that it can be important to track things that you're paying for because it can add up. We also wrote client pitches to the entrepreneurs that we would be working with, in my case, Steve, for our main projects. This taught me a lot about formal letter formatting and what things you should talk about to build an effective pitch, like connecting to the entrepreneur's personal mission. I found myself practicing the balance to maintain a perfect professional tone. Our most recent activity was building a resume. There were several technicalities that I had to learn, such as what information to include in the top right corner, what order to put sections in, and how to use the content of the resume to target the job that you're applying to. It was a really helpful experience. I struggled a little bit with speaking up when I'd already spoken up before, and sometimes it was a little bit hard on my pride when to get constant critical feedback, but it's good feedback and feedback that I need to improve. So it's all good. I found the resume to be the most helpful exercise personally, and the Microsoft skills I developed and the experiments I gained collaborating with my fellow co-designers make me feel more prepared for future jobs now. And the program was overall a great experience. So thank you.
Thanks,
That's it for
George.
me.
Great job, George.
Thank you.
Okay. Braulio, are you ready, my
Yes,
friend?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Should I share my screen?
Yes, go for it if it works. If not, I have them up also.
It's loading. Okay. I think it's good now. Okay. Hello, my name is Braulio Leyva, and I'm an apprentice for Bio Group under WorkWonder, and this is my presentation. What is WorkWonder? WorkWonder is an apprenticeship program which is amazing for high schoolers to learn professional skills for the workplace for their future. And WorkWonder teaches Excel budgeting, Excel calculation skills, resume writing, project pitching, effective communication, presentation skills, professionalism, problem solving, and time management. My project was for Jigsaw Night and client engagement. Our client was Steve Lucas, who was the Jigsaw Night game developer. Jigsaw Night is a VR game in which you could create and play puzzles with your friends online. And the problem is Mr. Lucas needed a marketing plan and he needs to reach a broader audience. Our group solution was to create YouTube videos and Instagram ads that showcase the game and play it in real time. We created a business budget that works by including the cost of making videos, advertising costs by monthly uploads. This shows the estimated cost of running the ads for a year and shows how much subscriptions would cost for editing apps. In our budget, we included everything we would need to create the ads, and it would cost about $35,000 for a year to make those ads and boost them online. We created a persona named Grace, who is a teenager in Wyoming, and she values family and friends' time. She enjoys low-cost and relaxing activities, and she's environmentally conscious. One reason why she's such a good persona is that she already has a MetaQuest headset like many people do, and she's an amazing candidate to play the game. We want to create long-form videos on YouTube to showcase the gameplay in detail. We want to emphasize gameplay through videos and produce tutorial videos with tips and tricks and create how to improve at Jigsaw Night guides. And these are ads that people will see to want to play the game. We also want to create YouTube Shorts ads to increase views and likes. We want to create short gameplay clips and quick tip videos. This is ideal for the short attention span of the younger audience. We also want to create Instagram ads to promote the game. These will turn the YouTube Shorts content into Reels for more reach. And this is great for advertising with many click opportunities. This is an image of people with VR headsets, which is what the Jigsaw Night game is. And these are example uploads for YouTube videos. We have images of people with VR headsets playing the Jigsaw Night with titles. And these are mock ads for Instagram, which are around the same as the Instagram ads, just in a different format. And in summary, we plan on creating posts, videos, and monthly uploads on Instagram and YouTube for ads. A similar strategy was used by Dev Sisters, which made the massively successful game Cookie Run Kingdom with their ads. And this is effective in engaging a similar VR gaming audience. This is my individual outcome. I created a personal budget in which I learned experience in using Excel, how to execute calculations in cells, that details are important, and that forecasting expenses help avoid surprises and manage cash flow effectively. I also created a client pitch in which I learned how to format a formal letter. I learned to tailor the message to the client's goals, values, and challenges to increase impact. I learned that a confident and engaging opening generates trust, and that the best pitches focus on the client's main points and offer clear solutions. I also created a resume in which I learned that resumes should and could be tailored for specific jobs, that contact information should be provided at the top, and that only the most relevant information should be provided. And experiences should be listed from most recent to oldest. As a personal reflection, I learned hands-on experience from consulting with small businesses on real-world challenges. I learned how to design and present effective business solutions, and I learned how to create example promotional content for social media using design tools. I struggled a bit adjusting to unfamiliar business technology and professional expectations, managing time effectively while balancing multiple tasks and deadlines, and collaborating with new team members and adapting to different work styles. Thank you for listening to my presentation. I'm Braulio Leyva.
Thanks, Braulio.
Yay, Braulio.
Okay, Aram, you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
All
Let me
right.
screen. Just let me know if when you can see it.
We could see it.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Aram Juharian, and this is my presentation about WorkWonder and what
Oh,
we did throughout
go
most
ahead,
of this.
Aram. Oh,
Hello?
go ahead.
Okay. Hello, everyone. This is me, Aram Juharian, and this is a presentation about WorkWonder and what we did throughout most of the summer. So what is WorkWonder? I'm gonna put it this way. WorkWonder taught me to be confident and enhanced my knowledge in Microsoft Words, Excel, and PowerPoint. It helped me write a formal resume and formal business pitch. It taught me how to communicate and work with businesses. And most importantly, it's one of the biggest opportunity that any high schooler will get. Now on to the businesses we worked with. We worked with Mr. Andrew Lorario, who's the president of Blue Dot. And the problem we saw was that his website was lacking audience and they were clicking off too easily. And we decided to create a new website for him. So at first we created a business budget. This would help us track expenses, for example, the cost of hiring a graphic designer to redo the website and calculates total spending amount. We also created a persona. This is a really brief one, and this is about a family who wants to buy the product of Andrew if they go on shelves. And the reason why they would buy is because they're fun, they're collaborative, and they learn while playing and building. And how we reach to them is through TikTok, YouTube, in-store displays if Andrew wants to, and school and community events. So some current website issues were that there were too many written content and no product page displaying the kits he was making, and it was hard on the eye and not easy to read. So the process we went through was understanding the vision, and we spoke with Andrew and interviewed him, and we learned the mission and the website goals he was trying to reach. So we just simplified the layout and navigation and made the site easier to read. And these are the results on the right-hand side. You could see the actual homepage. And we made different individual tabs, slicker, polished designs, easy to navigate and easier to understand the wording. In summary, we took Andrew's website, redesigned it to be more modern and easy to navigate, and we took some inspiration from a competitor who is Mark Rober, also his brand Crunch Labs, and we used the part how Crunch Labs works because it was really fun and it would fit Andrew's brand really well. This is the best we did, but I think we could do more if Andrew wants us to later on. And this was prepared by my group here, my group members. And onto some individual outcomes. At first, the first thing we did was create a personal budget. This was my first time creating a budget, and it taught me how to create a personal budget. I also learned the importance of naming cells and how important it was in throughout Excel. It made my life so much easier after that. And I learned how to balance income versus expenses through the budget. Onto the client pages we did, I learned that how to write a formal header, how to format and punctuate a formal document, and how to end the page. And also, got some practice with Microsoft Words while making the page. We also made a resume, and the thing that I learned that I got the most out of is that work experience is one of the most important sections in your resume and the most important thing that any employer would look at. I also learned how to properly format a resume and again got some practice with Microsoft Words. And on to reflect everything, at first I struggled with getting out of my comfort zone and speaking because I was being shy and I didn't feel comfortable. I struggled with making connections and taking actions or taking lead. But after the program and the help from WorkWonder and Bay Group and all the mentors, I learned collaboration is the most important when working with co-designers, mentor, and even business owners. I gained confidence after making valuable connections, and while making the website, I learned how to use Wix to create a website. That's all. Thank you, WorkWonder, for having me. It was a great experience. Thank you.
Thanks, Aram.
Good job. Okay, Quincy, are you ready?
Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Okay, I am Quincy too, and I've come to talk to you about the WorkWonder Apprenticeship. The WorkWonder Apprenticeship is a youth-focused program that helps youth, like young adults like me, really learn the ropes of working in a corporate environment before we go out and do it for real. And WorkWonder provides us that space to learn and provides, a very supportive environment. Um, During the internship, we worked with some entrepreneurs, and the entrepreneur my team worked with was the owner of a sustainable agriculture company called Open Source Ag. That owner was Kelly Cooper, and the problem she came to us with was that she needed to reach a broader audience of clients, and she needed more data and more feedback from her existing clients. So the solution we came back to her with was that we suggest that she hosts a documentary festival of sorts. And what that would entail is essentially the people that she works with, whether they be sustainable farms or food banks, would send her some short videos detailing the impact of open source ag and like what they do together. And this would not only allow her to host an event, which could be used to market her brand, but could also provide her with the, feedback and user stories that she could use, and it would accomplish both of those at the same time. And in order to host this event, we think that it's really important that Kelly fully understands how much it'll cost to host this event, because it's really important. So we put together a list of expenses for, an example event. All of the things in this Excel doc could be edited so that, if she decides she wants to scale it up or scale it back a little bit, she can do that. And this is just so she can get like a full idea of what it takes, and including. And after that, we came up with a sort of user persona that we would market towards. This could be the people that could potentially be interested in open source ag and working together. And after that, we did some research and we discovered that event-based marketing is really effective because it provides a place and an event that people can remember when they think of you. So it'll help her find more clients locally, which is what she does. And it'll lead to, increased awareness because it's something you can invite your friends, invite your family to. And yeah. Um, and to sum it up, we really think that the documentary event could help her, gather more user stories and also reach a large audience. This approach has been taken by many companies, including Uber Eats and Patagonia, with their series of advertisements that featured like user stories. I'm sure many people have heard of them. And yeah, this was my group. It was me and one other person. And actually, before we worked with Open Source Ag, Beha Group had us do a couple of things on our own. First of which was a personal budget, which was our first assignment. It really helped us learn the ropes, They taught us how to use Excel. We learned the importance of, double and triple checking our work to make sure there are no errors, because an error could be catastrophic. After that, we actually emailed the people we wanted to work with a client pitch, and they taught us, the general structure of our pitch, how to format formal letters, and people who had not used Microsoft Word before learned the basics of Microsoft Word. And finally, we did a resume, which, is the most important part of one of the most important parts of acquiring a job. So they taught us, formatting and in which order to present the information, what people hiring are looking for. And, as a reflection, I think I learned a lot. I struggled a lot. It was a very constructive experience for me. I think I'll look back fondly on it. Um, Especially, I learned really like what's expected in a professional environment, and also I improved with connecting with coworkers. That is all.
Great job.
Yay.
Thank you,
Nice.
Quincy.
Yay, Quincy.
Okay, Jordan, you ready?
Yeah. Do you see my screen?
Yes.
Great. Okay. Hello, my name is Jordan Rosner, and this is my WorkWonder presentation. So, what is WorkWonder? What I learned is that WorkWonder is a program that aims to give high school students the opportunity to experience a job and professional environment. It also allows students to speak and collaborate with real entrepreneurs. So, this is my client engagement group project in which we collaborated with Open Source Ag. So, the overview of our client is Dr. Kelly Cooper. She's the Open Source Ag founder. And her consultation is that she needs a marketing plan. She wants to reach a larger audience, and she's also against online advertising. So our solution is that we wanted to do advertising via posters and outreach through in-person events. So we had to create a business budget to calculate all the costs of the materials for the advertising with posters and also the in-person events, which you can see on the right. So we kind of just modeled the cost of advertising and manufacturing all these things, and it estimated a general sense of the needed expenses over the months and years for our plan. So for her persona, the character traits are she loves gardening, eating healthy is very important to her. She enjoys time outdoors, not tech savvy. She's a nonprofit, so she gives to the communities and is located in San Miguel. So our network poster campaign. So we decided to create informational posters, which would spread contact information through a QR code, which you can see on the right. So the goal is to kind of just get communication, get out there more, and we would specifically place these posters in areas which would like organic restaurants or people that would contribute to this cause. So this would just help us get a growth while still not being on social media. So the thought process is that we want to emphasize a physical media marketing strategy. And like I said previously, relying less on a technological approach. So physical posters would create messaging as a constant presence. So the posters could be placed around areas of interest, so such as organic restaurants, and also she mentioned high school students. We could do gardening clubs as well. So doing so will allow us to reach the scope of those who truly support and would benefit from Open Ag's needs and causes. So in summary, the solution is that we want to post flyers in person for localized events. and also actively hold and publicize these events. For references, we sort of use a similar strategy to California Milk Processor Board, so we were a little bit inspired by them and their poster campaign. These are all the group members that prepared this, including myself, and thank you very much to Behe Group for allowing us to do so. So for my personal individual outcome, I learned how to create a budget. So this is using Excel. So I learned how to create inputs that correspond to the outputs of other cells. So putting functions within the cells and things like that. And also learned the importance of precision when dealing with numbers and expenses. So for the client pitch, I learned how to be more concise with the information being relayed. So I was able to kind of cut down on any extra words that I had in my sentences and just make it more straight to the point. And I also learned how to resolve a professional problem and present solutions in a respectful manner. So I was able to find a solution which Dr. Cooper wanted to advertise without using social media. So we were able to create posters and I was able to present that without being too forward and kind of in a respectful way as well. So then for the resume, I learned how to be more specific with previous job experiences, and I also learned how to keep it to one page. And I also did learn how to use proper tense for current or previous work experiences based on what I was currently doing and things I'd done in the past. So overall, for my personal reflection, I learned how to work more professionally in a group environment. I learned how to create formulas within Microsoft Excel. I learned how to interview and professionally communicate with business and nonprofit owners. And I also learned what it is like to have a real job where attendance, effort, and communication are non-negotiable components. I really did not struggle with much as most of the instructions were super clear. I only had maybe one thing where I had a formatting issue with the resume, but the only real issue I had is sometimes in collaboration, my teammates were a little bit quiet, but overall everyone was helpful and I was quiet myself at times. So I'm not holding against anyone. Overall, everything worked out in the end. So thank you very much for listening, and I had a great experience with Beha.
Thank you, Jordan. Good job.
Thank you.
Okay, Anushka, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Anushka Mahajan, and I'm an apprentice at WorkWonder. So what is WorkWonder? WorkWonder is a program that gives high school students a chance to work together in a corporate environment and learn professional skills. It is an apprenticeship where apprentices get to help entrepreneurs with business problems, learn how to run a business, and learn budgeting and marketing. So my group worked on denouement, which is a chocolate business, and we specifically worked on the chocolate collections for this business. Our client was Barbarella Focus, and the problem that we were looking to solve was limited chocolate collections and disorganization in the inventory and expenses. So our solution was to expand and grow collections and help make a more organized inventory. Here are some images of the bonbons. So we created a business budget which showed expenses for specific ingredients that are used in the most common bonbons. And the expenses that are shown are the expenses for 1 year. And we did this because it's important to know your expenses and where your money is going. Our customer persona is that our ideal customer is someone who's interested in food or foodie, someone who's wealthy, loyal, local, and committed to quality. So our solutions included custom boxes and sample boxes. So for custom boxes, customers can choose their chocolates that they want to purchase, and they will get to choose from popular and easy to make chocolates. And they can do this on the website or on socials. For sample boxes, customers get to try 1 or 2 free samples of newer flavors, but this will only be available in person. A few more of our solutions are pre-ordering and continuing exclusive monthly collections. So for pre-ordering, customers will get to pre-order new collections or bars, and this will be available on the website or on socials. And for exclusive monthly collections, we will have exclusive monthly drops, which can be based on subtle holiday themes. And this will help add collections and also keep exclusivity. My group came up with an inventory template idea. We did struggle with organizing the ingredients because of the wide range of ingredients that are necessary to create the chocolates. But we brainstormed a template that would help keep all this information in a neat database. So in summary, our solutions were to create custom and sample boxes, allow pre-ordering and unique monthly collections, and use an inventory template. And our references are Crumble, which has a rotating menu that creates demand in customers, and Z's Candies, which has custom chocolate boxes. And all photos are courtesy of Daniel. And these few slides were prepared by my group. So individual outcomes. So throughout this whole apprenticeship, I got to create my own personal budget where I learned how to use Excel and how to input calculations into individual cells. And I learned that details are really important to make everything work together. I also created a client pitch, and I learned how to use Microsoft Word and how to format a formal letter. And we also learned how to create our own resumes. And by doing this, I learned how to format a resume and display important details and information. So for my personal reflection, what I learned was how to work in a professional environment, how collaborating with others is so necessary for the success of a business, and how the best way to thrive in a workplace environment is to be early or on time and ask questions. And what I struggled with was being more precise and shortening sentences and a lack of energy and focus. That's all. Thank you.
Thanks, Anushka.
Good job. Okay, Gavin, you ready?
Let me get it set up. You guys can see that, yeah?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Gavin Liu, and I am an apprentice of the WorkWonder Beta group. So, what is WorkWonder? WorkWonder has been all about giving young adults like us real experience in a work setting. We've learned how to work as a team, manage a budget, solve real problems for clients, and more. They have helped us build useful skills we'll actually use in future jobs or projects. Now I'm going to talk about our group project. Here's the overview. Our client is Steve Lucas, the developer behind Jigsaw Night, which is basically a VR puzzle game. He needed help building a marketing plan that connects with more players. Our solution is to launch a Discord server to bring his community together and give players direct access to him and each other. So we first made a budget to cover key tools like Adobe Creative Cloud, bots, boosts, and giveaway, all to keep us organized. These costs about $220 a month or $2,640 a year. So this was our budget, but we also needed a persona to understand who we will be marketing to. This is our customer, Rob. He's a 16-year-old from San Francisco and enjoys relaxing activities like puzzles and cozy games. Rob spends time online on Instagram, Discord, VR, and gaming with friends. He's looking for low-stress fun, and our cozy puzzle game gives him calm, comfort, and a sense of belonging. So why? We want a dedicated place where the community can talk, share wins, and help each other out. A lively Discord keeps players like Rob coming back, so the game stays active over time. It also lets fans post their achievements and collaborate on challenges, building long-term engagement. So what is Discord? Discord is basically where gamers and communities hang out online. It's super flexible. You can chat, share stuff, join events, or just vibe in voice calls. And since it's easy to use and customizable, it's perfect for building an active space for VR puzzle games. Or sorry, VR fans. So this is what it looks like. Here, on the left, you'll see that users texting and communicating with each other, and on the right is what a homepage of a server looks like. That's where people will gain their first impression of what the game and server has to offer. We researched a couple of different VR games. These include Garden of the Sea, Cubism, and Puzzling Places. All of these games offer like calm, immersive puzzle experiences. What really stood out was how each of these games built dedicated communities. That's why we want to create a Discord server, so players of Steve Lucas's game have a place to connect, share, and stay engaged over time. So how to reach this goal? We want to launch the Discord. We'll make channels for puzzles, clips, updates, and more. We'll promote it through social media and early invites to get people in. Premium bots will help with moderation and keep it fun, and we'll run giveaways to boost activity. Boosting the server unlocks perks, and we'll feature updates directly from Steve to keep it personal. All of this to gain more engagement for the game. In summary, our solution is to create a Discord server to help grow a strong, supportive community for Jigsaw Night. It's a place where players can report bugs, give feedback, and connect with others. Other companies like Vambo, Realities.io, and Neat Corporation use the same strategy successfully, so we know it works. And these are the people who I worked with. Now to my individual outcome. This is my personal budget. I've never used Excel before this apprenticeship, so I learned how to create and manage a budget from scratch. It helped me understand how to organize costs and keep track of spending in a clear way. Next is my client pitch. I learned how to use Microsoft Word to format the document properly, which helped me understand how important structure is when you're trying to get your message across clearly and make it persuasive. After getting feedback, I realized there was a lot of small details I could have fixed, so that helped me improve. This whole process made me more confident writing in a business setting. And to my resume, this was actually my first time making a real resume, and I learned a lot. I had to figure out how to describe my skills and experience in a way that was clear but also impressive. Formatting was really important too. I wanted to look clean and professional, but now I feel more confident applying to jobs or internships because I know how to present myself on paper. So to my personal reflection, I learned a lot through this apprenticeship, especially writing a client's pitch and using Excel for the first time. Interviewing the clients were also very cool too. They all gave me great insight from what an accountant does to marketing and designing a video game. The feedback really helped us improve, and it felt good seeing everything just come together. However, I did struggle a bit with time management, especially spending too much time on one task when we needed to focus more on the more important tasks. Finally, I've learned to not overthink small details and keep deadlines in mind. Thank you.
Yay!
All right. Good
That's
job,
everybody.
Gavin, and good job to
Woohoo!
everybody.
Yes, good job,
Yay, good job.
everybody. Awesome. So I'm just curious, do we have time for questions or are you all done?
How do you feel? Would you all be okay if we ask some questions?
I can answer a couple questions if you
I'm
really
okay
want
with that.
to ask.
Well, I just feel like that makes it because you're not able to go to the in-person, right? And in
Mhm.
the in-person, there will be questions. So
I see.
I think it might be helpful for you to have more what others are going to be experiencing. So I'm just going to ask a question that often gets asked, which is what's a takeaway that you feel like you're going to use? Some of you mentioned this, but that you feel like, oh, I'm going to use this in my future.
Microsoft. I've never used it before in my life before the apprenticeship, and now I can at least navigate it.
All right. How about you, Braulio?
I feel like the idea that recruiters don't have that much time to look at a resume. It's very quick, so those resumes really have to be perfect and tailored to the job. That's something I'm going to take away.
Thank you. How about
I'd say
you?
so
Okay,
I'd say
go ahead.
probably like speaking professionally is pretty important. It's a good skill to have, so I'm gonna carry that with me.
Thank you,
Yeah, I was gonna
Narek.
say the same thing with communicating more professionally with like clients. and maybe also like emailing, and the pitch was really informative too.
I think also like all of the writing skills as well will really stick with me because that's like very widely applicable.
I agree with George because Microsoft is something like almost every job kind of requires. So it's a really important skill to know. And I think I'm going to carry it down with wherever I go and whatever I do. It's really important.
I personally think making that client pitch was like the most like informative thing for me because I'd never heard of that before, and I learned what to write and how to write it. So I think that was really informative.
I definitely took away communicating with groups. So it kind of feels like, especially post-COVID, it feels like school because you're in the Zooms, but it's not school. So it's interesting to work in like a group environment with people who are still my age. Also, definitely Joyce's college program is very helpful for me. So I'm very thankful for that.
Great. Great. Let's see. Here's a question is now that you've been through the program, can anybody think of anything that they might have done differently from the start or handled anything differently now that you've been through it and you know sort of the scope of all of the things that were expected of you?
I would have asked more questions instead of just like turning in work and getting feedback back saying it was wrong. I would have just asked a simple question and got it over with.
Okay, that's
Um, I
that's
I probably would have um been more like told had myself and my group be more open to our own discretion, if that makes sense. Like just like simple things like reviewing each other's work or making the executive decision to work on something else instead of whatever for whatever reason. Because towards the beginning of the program, it feels very it feels wrong to do something without somebody's direct permission, but obviously you know it's not really um practical to be asking for permission to do for every small decision. So as time went on, I feel like we got more comfortable kind of leading our own group
yeah.
activities.
Yeah. That is a really, George, that's a really good point because I think about the fact that for a lot of you, this is your first foray into, um, having a professional responsibilities.
Hmm.
And to Jordan's point, like it feels like school because it feels like the pandemic, which you all lived through and were in school. And so you're used to being in these little boxes and waiting to be told what to do or whatever. Whereas our world, we're so used to doing this, right? Because you have, your mentors that work together are all over the country, right? So we're used to this. And so it's that's a really interesting point. And for us, it's helpful to hear this information because we can also understand how we can better set it up next year, right? Is that we don't know what we don't know. And so I feel like a lot of times you're waiting for, oh, well, we can't make the executive
Right,
decision well when you can, and that often so many times that happens, right? And that is a real skill that comes with experience of understanding and learning where can I just be effective and efficient with my time even if somebody's not giving me a direct um, direction. So that's really helpful. That's great. Yeah, a lot of time is wasted when you're waiting for instruction for sure. Yeah. Anybody else? Anything else you would think about that you would
Um, I would probably use the things I learned about formatting, and when it comes to the client pitch or the team presentation or the budget, and I would do my assignment decently quickly, and then I would help other people so that we can be a lot more streamlined and go through things quicker, and so everybody has a better understanding, right? whether that's helping people in my group or going into other breakout rooms and helping people I'm not really so familiar with. I think it would help everybody out if there were more people who understood what was happening and were able to help others with their projects. So I know I would have wanted someone to help me like that.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And it's kind of one of those things, again, you don't know until you go through it and then you realize, and again, and that for us, one of the beauties of that is that some, there's a saying, you teach best what you most need to learn. So oftentimes if you're learning something for the first time and you get through it, you actually become more proficient in it when you're able to articulate it to someone else and teach them that. So that's really one of the things we were hoping that you would get from this program is that, it's stepping into those leadership roles and taking that on, because that was a lot of things that we saw people ask for is I want more opportunities to lead. And so I feel like a lot of you in this room right now took those opportunities to do that. So thank you.
For me, I think I would wanted to take lead or like take in charge of me and maybe like my group. Because at first, as it was mentioned, it felt like school and that we needed like instructions. But I wish like I could have like taken the role or responsibility to like actually like know what to do or like have my opinions and do something. Because like this is like a thing where we like all learn and try to change it along the way. So I think I would have changed that for me.
I definitely saw a lot of growth over the last 7 weeks with you, Aram. And I definitely saw you take a leadership role, not only in your small team with Blue Dot, because I have had the opportunity to work with you the last few weeks in that way, but also in the bigger groups. So, when you said that something you struggled with was that communication and that connection, I found that surprising because to me, it seemed like you really grew in that capacity. So I hope you feel that as well, because I definitely saw that from you. Yeah, I'd love to hear from the rest of you on that specifically about your experiences working in teams with other people, and how you navigated and managed issues. For instance, Jordan, you mentioned people being quiet or just working in other, with your teams and how you communicated, whether the balance of power or leadership changed in your groups or how you navigated people who didn't contribute perhaps or that sort of thing.
I was actually very happy with my team. Everyone kind of took initiative. Like one day I'd be like kind of the leading the what we're gonna do today, and then the next person the next day would take over or something like that. But I was really happy. Just one thing I wish I've done, or well, I wish I had like a better connection with them. I feel like I could have talked more, let's say, um, I wish I could have just, I don't know, um, build like a better relationship with them outside of just like doing the assignment or the task, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely.
I
What
think
about
for me, it was really easy because we only had a two-person group, so there's not really like anywhere to hide, you know? So
Yeah.
you kind of just have to communicate because otherwise it'll be like, well, what's happening?
Yeah. Yeah, you couldn't hide behind there being 7 people or 8 people in your group. Yeah. Anybody else want to share? No? Okay. Well, we've kept you on here a long time, so.
We have. We have. So I just want to say thank you to everybody and close out the live stream. We're going to live stream again on Friday. So, all right. But thank you,
No,
everybody.
thank you.
Can I ask
Thank
you all a
you.
question?
Mhm.
So, because tomorrow's our last day,
I'm going to turn
and
off the
on
live
June,
stream. Hold on.
Yeah,
right? Because you
yeah,
hold
turn
on, let me turn off the
Not
live
the camera.
stream.